battlefield a second ago. I was broadcasting and the thing just kind of crashed on me, so yeah. That wasn't a whole lot of fun. I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna play Nightmare. I don't know if I should. Alright. This is the one I'm gonna play because I actually like this one a lot. The higher the difficulty, the better. But I'm not gonna play on that high of a difficulty because it's just gonna be me and I have to run the facts for myself, so I'm gonna have to run everything because I don't feel like playing with other people right now. I had to put it on private first, yeah. But I already set up the class and all my weapons and everything. And we'll get to the new guns after this because I really want to play this game right now. There's a new rifle and a couple other guns. I haven't been on here in a while. I was like, oh, I should probably come on here because I'm probably gonna have guns and all this new stuff. Because like sitting down here and playing the same thing day after day, waiting for new stuff to come out gets kind of like, it gets like to where there's a little bit of a headache or whatnot. But when I come on here, welcome to my world. But when you just, I can play you.
I don't know where we are. We probably need to enter the prison.
Yeah, we probably do. ps4 controller battery is low. Very interesting.
Now watch me mess up your fun.
You can see right here.
I don't like the look of the prizes on that wheel, but I think we have to spin it anyway.
Alright, so you guys stay here. I'm just gonna sit here, walk this way. I'm gonna go get a drink and grab the charger cord out of my bedroom. Sorry, I didn't really want to do this, but I have to. All you really care about is with the guns. I'm gonna have to do this for like a second or two. Don't worry. Alright. I'm back in my room. I'm so glad that they never fixed this glitch. Whoops, didn't mean to do that. My Carbine has pushed the trigger. I literally have a pumpkin pie in my hand when I was doing that. I mean, it probably could have waited. I could have waited to get the charger, but I don't know. You never know with these things. Could be an hour, could be a 20 seconds, you never know. Oh. Oh. Let's scoot the chair closer to the TV. Because if I don't, the charger cord won't reach, and then I'll have a whiny fit the whole time I'm playing. Alright, here we go. Wrong button. My bad.
Try to keep others from getting near the drill. They might notice the sound.
Difficulty is pretty high. As long as it doesn't land on those, I'm good. Oh shit.
Don't let the cops stop the timer.
Well, I can just get a punk pie. I mean, the thing's literally like crazy, like easy.
This is it.
Catch! Halfway line! Don't stop now!
Fuck these cunts. Don't kill yourself or anything. That honor's mine.
Got the big guy!
Great, it's done. Get the key card. Now let's enter the prison.
Fuck off, you stupid shield!
They got a fucking taser!
Taser's dead!
Just call me.
Look out! Taser! Fuck off, Taser!
There we go. Sorry.
Fucking shield!
We got a shield! Shield eliminated!
1, 2, 3.
Inside!
That's the thing I forgot about this. There's shields everywhere.
Great, let's keep going.
So glad I accidentally brought a
Watch out for the
shotgun
smoke.
as I'm a piercer.
Spinning those wheels. Find the next one. Stay clear.
Look out! Taser!
Taser down!
Hop on here. Oh, there's hook. Hop on here, run to here. Oh, there.
This is my domain!
By the way, on here you need those skills, so the skills up there. They still work on that.
Good work, fellas. You're clear. You just bought yourself a little time. Make the best of it. Question marks? What could that be? They interrupted the timer. Restart it.
Something like that. Not even fucking letting it come.
Once the reboot is over, we should be back on track.
Alright, that's hurt. I was wondering if it would hurt me while I was in the air.
Good luck, people.
No one wants to shoot and scoot! Don't let him up! Half time now! Come on, maggots!
Shocking.
Not as shocking as me. You can switch this to single shots, and here we go. I love how, like, normal grenades, you only get, like, 2, 3. When you switch to incendiaries, you get, like,
Timer's
6.
done. Grab the key card.
I kind of want to do mall crashers with these incendiary grenades. Just run up and start like throwing fire in all the stores, see how like ruin everything.
Taser got one!
What the fuck has got a shield?
Turn into the panel and pull that switch. Let's see
I have a
what
problem
happens.
compulsively reloading.
No more shield!
Now another thing you guys need to know is it takes about 2 or 3 seconds to pull this thing, so when you look at the time, I normally always want to be like 2 or 3 seconds before even time. So I usually grab it on the 8 or 2. Wait, we're still on the 8. Oh, okay. Completely trying to do this, alright. No, I didn't. Now this thing lasts for 1 whole minute. So I can do it right on like 58. Oh yeah. No, that's exactly a minute.
Ah, shit! Shield!
That's mine!
People, that was well handled. Now
This
focus
is
on getting
actually
things
really
done.
nice.
Got a shield!
Normally I want to get the time perfect because when I get the time right, I can
It's secured!
grab as many bags as I can because it takes like a couple seconds to pick them up and throw them in. But usually it takes a while to run it over, throw it, run it over, throw it. Fuck me. I still got like 20 seconds, it's cool.
Fucking cops. This is where you show off you got
It's
balls.
at the drop!
10 seconds on the
Delivered!
clock.
Yep, and I'm at 50.
Careful. Looks like the bag's gonna explode.
I love to see you fail.
No, I thought I did pick it up just in time. Alright. I like to pick up a bag because if I'm holding the bag, I can automatically just throw it in as soon as I know where the new place is. As soon as I know right where the new location is.
working.
Another thing is really cool is if you're playing this in solo, you can actually get a whole bunch of hostages and it reduces the amount of people running around in here.
I'll reform you here from the inside out.
Drilling!
It's the wheel of misfortune.
Woo! Shield eliminated!
Good luck. Question marks again. Be ready for anything.
Yeah, that's a real racing. Come on, knock, knock, open up the door.
Halfway line. Don't stop now.
It's a shield! Show me what the hype's all about! Got the shield! Woo! Shield history!
The wheel betrayed me. Watch out for the taser.
to the back. This
Drop
bag.
your weapon! Down on your knees!
I can get like 6 hostages if I want to.
One shield back down! Hands off! Drop the gun! Live! Now pump!
Now, if you get something that's got like a high whacking ability, like one of these, whap, that makes them far more likely to cooperate. It's, I know it sounds weird, but it's actually a thing. Alright, it seemed like last time it was like 1 second early. So I'm just gonna give it a good like 10 seconds. Alright, right at 14:10, so it's the end of 15:10.
It's in!
They're pulling back! Don't waste your ammo! Watch out for the taser!
Oh shit, what are you doing?
They'll be back for force in this round.
I got the taser!
It'll take me like
Got the
5 whole
fucking
seconds to
shield.
throw all the stuff in, so...
Careful, guys. Time's running out. 10 seconds.
I love me some good action.
Watch out. The bags are getting hot.
No, I didn't make it.
Time's up! Losers!
I forgot there's a limit to how far you can jump on here. I should jump to there and then to here, but eh.
They got time to lick their wounds between our assault waves. They roughed up real bad, huh?
They got a hostage! We gotta slow down and prepare.
A hostage? I'm more than one hostage. What the hell are you talking about? Hey there, buddy. What's up?
This is it.
Did he actually scream and run away because I shot at his face?
Yes, yes! Play my little game!
I can't believe that actually worked.
Smoke. The wheel stopped on smoke.
Don't look so misty!
I hate this thing so much. It's sudden flash and the shake that irritates me.
You lasted halfway!
So
You
yeah,
last to the end!
there's a whole bunch
I
of
don't
new
think so!
buttons on here that I want to show after I get through here. I mean, the first time this game mode came out, I played it for like, I don't know how long I played. I think it was like an hour or 2 hours, something like that. Didn't even feel like it. And I seem to use it crazy just by myself. I got quite a bit of money. That
You
was
want this
some
one,
normal.
but I'll get you in the end!
No, that Benjamin was burning. No. Oh, hello there, Field. Okay, bad news. I kind of forgot to include the gorilla perk deck in this. I just got psychopath instead. So it might be minusculely screwed. Alright, double that.
That looks really bad.
Got all the shotgun perks, all the other stuff I needed. Didn't even think for a second to grab a health regenerating perk or skill. Not even one. But on the bright side, the medic kit, so. Dude, you just run up without him. Well, it's just rude, us from punching, but okay. I just want to walk up to him and slap him in the face with a bat, but I guess that didn't happen. Just replace this.
Medic bag over here.
I mean, I can use it twice anyway, so eh.
I can feel him getting closer.
Where are our units? We need more black and whites out there.
See here.
There are at least 2 of them. Might be more. 2 assailants confirmed. Help!
Three, two. Right on 9. Fucking early.
What? You opened it?
Well, it's actually not that far from here this time. Can you do it out the window this time? I can probably get 2 more in there. Fuck, I missed again! Son of a bitch.
Let's look for those bags now.
That's it, bitches.
Want me to take care of you, yeah? Get stuff!
Oh, son of a whore. Situation just tired. We're on the birthday, it's kinda close. I know I can get at least 1 bag in this next time.
Tony's now in police custody. We're stopped on sniper. I'm not sure what that means.
Oh great, sniper, and I'm on a little low health. That's wonderful. Where is this sniper anyway?
Halfway line. Don't stop now.
Must be dead already. It's just me and it's me. Don't worry.
Damn it!
Alright, now hopefully this time we can, I'm just gonna say screw it and I'm just gonna grab it right about 30. On 30. I'm just gonna clear this one right now.
Package delivered!
Oh, come on.
Those closer than I like, people. Now patch yourselves up and get back in the game. Okay, the police are willing to do a hostage trade. Look for the marked out hostage, then free them.
This is a good job with the AIs to me.
Took care of the shield.
Time's almost up. Watch out! The bags are getting hot.
Ah, so sorry, damn it.
Not some bullshit like that.
Two assailants confirmed. Might be more.
We got a shield right
No longer just me, this is me.
Fantastic. He's back.
Who's got a medic bag? Reach for the side. Hands where I can see them. One shield left in the world, everybody! On your knees. Put your hands up. Get on your knees. Get your pump gun. Bye-bye, shield. Hands up. On your knees. Fuck yourself. We got a shield.
Watch yourself.
Since when did they get the ability to smash so hard? I think the top melee has gotten stronger.
We got a shield! A fucking shield! Put your motherfucking hand on! Shield! Put on! Fuck off, you stupid shield!
Yeah, I got 5. One more and I can have 6, and then I actually really need to start smacking people before they'll even start to convert for me.
Hard contact! No one wants to wait!
Drop your weapon! We got a shield! Oh, take shield!
How are these guys?
Get your hands off, mother!
You, I still moved up.
On me now! It's a shield! Goddamn shield!
Sucker's got a shield!
Here's the shield! Got the shield!
Oh yeah, I have to go do the drill thing again. Completely forgot about that. Whoops.
Nobody fuck with me!
Whoops. Hey there, big number.
Stay here forever!
Drilling!
It's the wheel of misfortune!
Like to do with my friends is I'll get on here, do this, but I'll do it on like an insanely high game mode. We'll have like really heavy armor, and we'll just have one dude be the runner. He would like run around with the bags. Send me like 2 or 3 of these on normal. I mean, 1 on extremely hard, and it's usually worth it. Really worth it. That one person though has to have like 9 lives and like 1,000 other things, so they can live forever. But they will die pretty quick. They have to like hide in corners and stuff.
Come on, maggots!
And like if everyone just picks up a bag, just holds on to it, like the whole thing, everyone can just throw their bag in next way around. Everyone pick one up and then the runner dude can start running. And hope he doesn't die while everyone else is just killing the things, so that way the runner doesn't get screwed.
The wheel betrayed me!
Alright, now after this, I'm gonna go and show everyone the new gun. I am actually really excited about it. I don't know exactly how new they are, but they're new to me. And if you haven't played Payday in a while, they're probably new to you too. This is the last one I'm gonna do. I'm just gonna go ahead and pull it. Now I noticed these bags make you run really slow too, so first, if they're gonna be playing runner for this thing, you should probably just go ahead and run. There's also a clocker right there, so I get it at like 7 something. Just watching the clock as it was turning. Alright, this should be good for this one.
We got a shield! It's in!
Watch out for the taser!
Made it. Alright, now I spin the wheel. The shit can get out. Maybe grab one more toast on the way out. I don't know how I feel about. I love how I can do that. Jump from up there down to here, and it magically won't kill me, but you know, jump from all the way to the top and go to the top down the bottom like this. But I think it's like this outside area. It's like 2nd floor compared to that. I think the bottom there actually goes down a bit more. I can hear my.
The wheel stopped on the dozer again. Watch out, guys.
Drop it! Put him off. Put your hands up.
Fuck them up! You don't look so good.
I don't know why, but apparently I'm vulnerable to getting hit.
Got a bulldozer! Cindy, follow me! Hey, Tony, follow me!
I'm coming!
We need to go in.
There we go, because this is the one with the
Bulldozer! Drop your weapon. Hands off. Ow! I could really use a medic bag. Stay still.
I just tried to put it down. What is it?
Shows you can't trust machinery.
I literally just looked down and tried to place my medic bag down there, and it didn't.
Shield!
Did I actually just put it on one of them? Maybe I only have one. First I just looked at my thing and said that I had one. But it didn't show it anywhere over here.
Ready up?
Hey, Tony! Follow me!
I'm coming!
Sydney! Follow me!
You know, maybe it glitched out and it's back where I placed it down before.
Shoot and
Look at all those shields just running in a row.
no one walks away!
like I'm gonna need to have to die. And I'm gonna have to like bring me back by hostage trade. It'll only work when I'm in this area because I don't think I'm gonna get any hostage trade. I'm gonna die as soon as I get up to it. Alright, that didn't count. Alright. We'll focus in here. I don't want to jump, I don't want to die, and I'm gonna go into custody, and then I'm gonna trade me. Like the good bots they are. Because they can do that. They can wait by a person and wait to trade me.
Whee! Down, but it's not over. I'm directing one of the other guys to release the hostage. HOT, come in! Civilians on the scene! Fire! Christ almighty!
All these guys go away.
It's a shield!
Cover me!
Where's the hostage anyway? Has it selected a hostage yet?
I see one of them! Get ready!
I remember how I switched.
Carajo, there's a shield!
Right now, that's all the police stuff. I think it's where they get me out. Because if I didn't, I was gonna die on the escape. Because it just gets harder when you try to escape. But I only had that tiny bit of health left. And I also only had 1 life left. And if you want to get like escape, you would have to have gone a prisoner while you're in the escape area, which is almost completely unlikely. Especially since I'm having a hard enough time getting them now.
Move out. Ready now. I got contact. Christ. Go, go, go! Move it!
Surprised no one's gotten rid of those hostages yet.
Fucking hell! Help! I see one of them. Jeez! Help! Go! Ready up! I got contact! Contact! Go, go! Ready now! I see one of them! Jeez! Go! I got contact! Christ almighty! Christ!
Alright, the police are willing to trade you now. I've informed your
More
teammates of your
willing
ability to carry out the trade. You'll be out as soon as
they
they release the hostage.
Top. We get the fast as I can. We get in that circle. I gotta hit this. As soon as I hit this, I'm pretty sure all my hostages are disappear.
Get together in a group, guys. There's no turning back. Get out of this goddamn place.
Where is Carbine? How is he getting paid right now? Now, if he says you gotta hurry, you gotta run, but I don't bother with that because it doesn't matter.
Thanks.
Like, some of the prisons get caught on fire, but other than that, like, Got a second ago.
Train. Move the zip line up to the bridge.
Have a chance here.
Ready these goddamn people. Positions.
But funny how to the staircase. Something. Funny up the staircase. Making sense.
This is the place! Pony! On me now!
On my way.
Cindy! Follow me now! Straight ahead!
Yeah, there's just actually a fear in here, alright. Cool. Now I gotta get all the way to the end so that way I can notice that we need C4. And then the C4 magically appears and don't know why he's already dead in here or anything, alright?
Oh, what a fucking shambles!
Hold on, guys. I'll send some C4.
Come on! Faster! Taser eliminated!
Fall to a hole.
Oh, seems you're stuck here.
Rebecca Ting's here!
I'm grabbing Omar's toast and I'm limping away to the exit.
Got the taser!
Go fast when it needs to.
This is gonna blow!
Get to the escape. Come on.
Alright, Omar's toast. Take
Sure
that.
you want to be greedy now?
Yes, it's gonna make me slow as hell, but I don't care.
Shield!
Pathetic clown.
Let's see right now, actually, you know what? What is I got 13 bags. And each bag is
Keep your heads down.
There's
No
the
more
total,
taser, my
bags
friends.
that I'm gonna get from
Fuck
this
sucker's
bag.
got a shield.
I don't know if it means deal my toast 100,000 as well or what, but eh. I don't know if I can grab these or not. No, I know for a fact that I can grab these. Get Sydney, you asshole. Oh, that's nice. They stopped shooting me. No, they're able to. You keep it wandering off. That's what you want. I wish I could grab all his money. I wish I could take it with me. No, that's it, me. No, back there. I know it's just an AI, but it's the only AI that has to die.
Motherfucking asshole! Now down on your knees! And I was the fuck!
You could tase me right now if you wanted to do something against it. It's a
Taser! Hey, Cindy! Follow me! Taser! Taser eliminated! Stop it!
She's getting him. I swear. He is. Once we got him, so at least that's good. Wait. Oh, I remembered something. Oh, yeah. I'm happy now. Of course, these are fine.
Danger eliminated!
Tell me why the hell you were over there.
Lock the taser! Danger, no, boy! Hands off! Off!
Watch out for the taser! Fucking taser is dead!
Hands off! Put your fucking hands off!
Where are you? What's up?
Close up! Don't let him through!
Look out! Taser!
Damn you, fuck. Hold still.
Knife! Taser!
Watch out for the taser! Taser, my friends!
You hold still? Damn, man.
Stop him! Good!
They got a fucking taser!
Easy! Cover me! On the way!
Hold still, damn you. Put back here. Back here. Take that one.
Taser down! Cindy! On me now! Be right there! Fuck off, Taser!
Hold up the bag.
Anybody got a medic bag?
Damn it. They dropped their bag. Come and get me. That's the one thing I hate about this thing. It takes so long to reload.
Look out! Taser!
Damn it. It's hard to get bags on these people.
Watch out for the taser!
Damn it. Call that one. Oh, the taser right there.
They got a fucking taser!
Get stuck, Taser! Fuck!
I'm gonna fuck this one automatic now. That was the best one.
On me now!
Coming!
Hey, Taser!
On my way!
Bloody smoke bomb! Backwards again, then smoke!
I'm on my ass this way, and hopefully you guys can follow me. That's eventually, I don't even have to worry about them. I can escape, and they still kind of escaping with me. With their bags and all. And that is how you get as many bags as possible.
But I'll see you again tomorrow night!
Because when I was just holding that one bag by myself, it was 13. Now it says 16 bags. Because I was holding one, and the other two AIs were holding a bag. It's a real big pain in the ass to do, but I captured 13 bags in the building, and at the top of those two. The nukes are not actually that much money. They're like 130 each, but that Omar's toast that's sitting on the cash pile is like it's basically the difference. Cause it's like, it's hard to explain. Those 13 bags are each like 100,000 each. So that's like 1,300,000. 1 and 300 with. It's hard to explain. 1,300,000 probably be the easiest way. Now, right now it's 2,260,000. The Omar's toast is the thing that changes it, because that's like a million almost by itself. But yeah, I feel very successful after this mission. Oh yeah, carbon fiber, because they don't already have like 1,000 of those or anything. Nah. I am Zonan. Yeah, that's probably because I was using this one. The heavy ballistic vest that makes you slow and turns into a bullet sponge. You need like actual like body armor perks for it to be useful. And these are here all for shotguns and ammo collecting. They pretty much have nothing to do with the actual underlying body armor itself. Like this right here. This would have been helpful. So would this. These would have both been very helpful. And you know what? If I'd had this, if I'd had da-da. Just go with that. Alright, so there's no special Russian card deck. Alright. Anywho. Up here there's crew chief, then there's this one called Muscle. This one is important. The very last card in Muscle is called 800-pound Gorilla. You basically automatically regenerate your health just by sitting and doing nothing. You should slowly get your health back, as opposed to it being gone forever like it normally is. Now this one right here, I don't know if you tell whatever, but if you have these perk decks completed, like you have all of them, the money you get at the end is increased by 10%, just because you have a full perk deck. Like, is that crazy or what? Now, one of the things that was really upsetting to me, I got the perks. I don't even know which one it is now. It's one of the new ones. Where is it? This one. I got this one, filled it out and everything. I was like, oh, cool. You know, all these perks are like, do this, do that, do whatever in the smoke. I was like, oh, cool. So I went, got the framing frame mission, pulled this out, threw a smoke grenade down. Like, alright, I'm just gonna walk in there, I'm gonna throw smoke. Apparently they can notice the smoke. Is that unbelievable or what? They can actually see the smoke. Now, I'm sorry it took me so long to get back around to this stuff, what have you. As far as I can tell, this right here, this submachine gun is the Russian submachine gun. There's a whole bunch of new guns that are under here under the under the label of Russian. Keep in mind that I haven't been on here in a while, so these might not be absolutely like brand new. They might be slightly old news. But yeah, something interesting. I don't know if you guys can see this or not, but right there, where those weird little semicircular pieces are on the grip, that is where this device has been spot welded onto the rest of the receiver. Every place you see those little dimples, that's called a spot weld. It is when a piece of metal, two pieces of copper, pinch down on two pieces of metal, they squeeze it together, and then a high volume of electricity flows through it really quick in waves, just tap, 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 through the metal, and it'll heat it up, and it'll cause the metal to melt, and at the same time the current flows through it, it'll pull it all and cause it to want to flow in one direction, so it'll melt it and then pull it together in a way. It is actually pretty interesting, and it's actually a very simple manufacturing technique. One of the things that I thought was really cool is that a spot welder is actually fairly easy to make. A lot of people don't know that a spot welder is pretty darn simple to make. Now another thing is really interesting. This is 9x18. It's basically a submachine gun, because it actually fires a pistol cartridge as opposed to a full power rifle cartridge. Now, what I said before about the striker fired gun, wait, no, that wasn't on here, never mind. This is actually one big spring, because this is actually a blowback operated gun, but that's not important. Anyway, sorry about that. I'm pretty sure that is it for the secondaries. Now the primaries, ignore the fact that I have multiple FALs. I have like 6, I think. No, I'm pretty sure it's 5. No, it's 6. I was actually about to do it. 6. I was just joking too. Alright, this is the new Russian rifle. This is the new AK. Something that's pretty interesting about this rifle. So if you look right here where this hinge piece is, back here. I don't know if you guys notice, with that button right there at the back is for folding the buttstock. Right here on this side where it's a rectangular piece, that is the part that catches inside the stock. You push that and this entire thing can fold to this side, and that little like finger looking thing will hook back inside that hole where that button goes. So it's a pretty like ingenious design. But yeah, another thing, the AK selector lever on this is actually one of the newer selector levers. You can tell that there's a semi-curvature at the bottom. Now the reason for that is that you can actually take the selector lever, stick it all the way up in the safe, you can pull it down, and then with your pointer finger you can just go up a little bit, and you can hit that and use that to go from semi to full. A lot easier than just having to reach your entire hand up to flip it. Now granted, you are still going to have to reach your entire hand up to flip it out of it, but I mean, it's still going to be a lot easier right there than having to reach your entire hand all the way up, because you mean you have to stick your finger on top of the tab to pull it down, so you're going to pull it up, but it's a lot easier than having to go all the way up to the very top of the lever to get a nice grip on it. The AK design is one of the designs that I actually kind of like, just because how simple it is. A lot of people don't actually know how simple the AK is in design, but there are very, very few pieces, and they're easy to make if you know how to make them. And it is actually a lot of fun too. Sometimes I just sit around and I think, like, you know, if tomorrow ends, if we're all on our own, like, what could I do? What could I make with what I know and what I physically have? Like, if I had to go out tomorrow and, like, start to try and put everything back together, and if I had to try and put the world together again, kind of thing. Because, I mean, there are so many people that think, oh, that'll never happen, but when people like the Antifa groups and stuff start saying that they want to, like, overthrow everything, I mean, it kind of starts to make you think maybe someday some crazy person could cause everything to go catastrophic and whatnot, and maybe those skills would be useful, but I mean, until then, I mean, it's just like a fun hobby. Now, the dual-wield pistols, just like in the regular pistols, have this. This is the really weird pair of handguns. This is a John Wick pack item, however, it was not with the original John Wick pack, actually. They added it in later. So if you already have the John Wick pack, well, your pack just got a new item in it. And it is this 9mm HK. They come in the regular and the dual wield now. The little tiny 9mm HKs. Now this is actually a 9mm version of the regular HK handgun that we can actually get as is, actually. I'm gonna try and see if I can find it real quick. I don't know if they're the dual wield versions of the regular. Oh no, they're right here. Here they are. This gun right here is actually the exact same thing. This is just got a threaded barrel. It is visible. The front sight and the back sight are higher. And on the side of this one it says 45 auto instead of the 9mm. These two are literally the exact same thing, and they got the safety lever at the bottom, whereas the 9mm versions have the alternative safety. It also looks like the slide is forwards on these. Looks like they're not lined up right, actually. If you look at the slides, looks like the slides are too far forwards. Huh. That is weird. I might have to tell someone about that. Slides are too far forward. Let's see if they did the same thing on this one. No, the slide's just fine on this one. Now you see right there, that's what I was talking about. These ones have what's called the thumb release, where they have that little tab right there on the back where you hit that, and that hits a mechanism inside the gun which drops the hammer, as opposed to the other ones where it's a lever on the side. Flick that, it locks the firing pin in place and drops the hammer. So that way you don't have to worry about carrying a gun that's cocked back all the time. It's called a hammer release safety. So that way you can safely, like, let the hammer down without being afraid you're accidentally gonna have it go off. Because that's one of the problems with releasing the hammer, is if you accidentally, like, have it slip out of your thumb and it just slams down on the firing pin, it's gonna go off, because that's what guns do. I mean, accidental discharge is something that probably will happen if you're sitting, like, mess around with them a lot. Because, like, the more you mess around with guns, the more you play with guns, the more likely you are to have a accident. If that makes sense. Like, the more you play with something, the more likely you are to, like, accidentally hurt yourself or have something go off. Like, people who accidentally, like, injure themselves with knives, it's never going to be the person that's only used a knife once or twice, and probably it could be, like, if you've never used it before, probably nerd yourself. But, I mean, if that makes sense to you guys, like, it's the person that's used them, like, 1,000 times, that's injured themselves, like, a handful of times with them. Like, I cannot count how many times I've accidentally, like, nicked the end of my finger because I was trying to cut something and I was using the knife the wrong way, and I was like, oh, whatever, I'll be careful, I know I'm using it the wrong way, and I ended up, like, oh, and also this right here, which I think is awesome. This is the new sniper rifle. Now, if you think this thing looks amazing and you really, really want one, you can have one. Even if you don't have the DLC, you can technically get one of these or something similar to this. Now, I don't know if you can see this or not, but this is actually really close to the real Dragunov, not the AK build clones of Dragunovs. The distinction is that these, if you look at the bottom of them, it won't tilt that well. One second, I'm going to tilt it like this. No, still can't see because the magazine's in the way. But these actually have trigger packs that go into the bottom of the receiver, and the receiver for the Dragunovs are actually all milled. Or at least a true Dragunov will be milled. It'll be a giant hunk of metal, and there'll be a milled section throughout the middle, and where the magazine locks in. Then there'll be a magazine release and trigger guard welded onto the bottom of a trigger pack, which slides in. And the entire thing is held in with a pin right at the back. Another thing is interesting, because this rifle is not like a US rifle at all, it doesn't have to do with anything. Traditionally, a rifle which is built to be semi-auto only will not have what's called a in-battery safety. What that means is that when the bolt is all the way forwards, the safety, an internal safety, will be released, and it will no longer be unsafe. But as soon as that bolt comes back, a safety mechanism automatically makes it to where it can't fire until that bolt is all the way closed. That ensures that you will not accidentally drop the hammer with the bolt open. Now, the reason for that is because it's a Russian military rifle. They want it to have correct safeties, and people were worried because when the dude who made these, when he was first making these, he was adjusting spring rates and all that stuff. So he made it to where the spring would be as light as possible. You can't, so it'd be like you couldn't even feel it, like, open and close. But one of the problems would be, like, it would put bullets in, but it wouldn't shove them all the way in and close. So that was one of the things that people would worry about. And another thing is that this actually has a 3-lug bolt as opposed to a 2-lug bolt, which is what a standard AK has. Now, a lot of people will build AK kits, like in real life, people will go out and get kits for AK-47s, and they will build their own AKs and whatnot. Now, speaking of building AKs, I'm going to show you guys something real quick. You can buy an AK on here. Actually, you know what? I'm just going to buy this just because I can. Like, see this right here? This is a normal AK. Alright. I already have 3, but oh well. Alright, now I'm going to see new mods for this. Alright, what you can do is you can get this barrel right here. I have 37 of these barrels. Alright, I'm going to put that on there. Alright. Now this is called the Slovak Dragunov barrel. You can also get this right here, which is a AKU barrel, and this one right here. This is the AK and CAR mod. Basically the AK and AR mods. Now you can get this barrel right here. I don't know if you guys can see what this is, but this is literally the Dragunov barrel right here. It's the barrel of the other piece. Now if you go to the stock section, on butt stocks, that's right there, it's an ergo rail, so you could put a scope on it if you wanted to. This is literally the scope mod. It is again an AKAR mod pack item, so if you already have that, you can literally just throw the attachments on your AKs and build them into a Dragunov if you want to, which I think is pretty freaking cool. This one right here, I don't know what this is. This modification is incompatible with your current sight. Oh, it's a... I don't even remember how that works. I think I have to put a sight on it, and then I can put that on there. It's like some kind of a magnifier or something that goes with it. That or I have to put like a sight rail, I don't remember. Yeah, this thing right here. I know what that is. I think it's a speed loops or something where it just pulls out faster. Now I think this is either going to be like a small magazine, or it is the... I think now... it's... try that. I think it's either the 20 round Tank Sergeant magazines, or it's the AK drums. I can't remember which. But yeah, I'm pretty sure I have to put on a sight on here. And then I can put that other thing on. Right here is the AKU folder stock. Then right here is the Dragunov stock. I don't actually have either of these in stock, but that right there is the stock for the Dragunov. If you want to convert it into a Dragunov. There's also some other stocks back here. This is the traditional AK wooden stock. You need the AR mod pack 4. But yeah. And there's that. Let's see, there's also the John Wick, and this one. This one right here is for like an HBR. I think that's what it's called, HBR. The SIG HBR. Yeah. That's what I actually think of. Actually, no, I'm gonna go and look at my nice little AKU again. Alright, is that the one? No, it's this one. Yeah. Now, I also said that you could make an AKU with some of those mods. That is what this one is right here. Alright. This is an AKU with this very, very, very fat magazine. But yeah, this is basically what a normal AKU looks like. This is what the basic AKU looks like anyway. This is really what they're supposed to look like. Now, I spent a lot of time like learning different manufacturing processes, all different like kinds of ways people make stuff, and it's literally extremely simple to get right. Now, like for instance, this buttstock piece, these are what are called stampings. you take a piece of metal, you have what's called a die, which is the inner piece, which would be the piece that went inside the end there. Now, I'm just talking about this very far back piece right now, the part right now that's closest to the TV screen. And what would happen is that die would also have these grooves on it. Now, there's dies are called male and female dies. The male die is the one that goes on the inside, the female is the one that goes on the outside. It's the same way with like headphones and plugins. They have a male end and a female end. Same way with pipes. And like threading kits, there's always the male and the female. And they always say that because the male is supposed to be the one that goes like inside the other one. And the female is supposed to be the one that goes around the object. Kind of like a headphone. You stick your headphones in your phone. The male end is always the earbud end because it goes inside your phone. And your phone is always going to be the female end because it goes around the other one. It's just real simple stuff. But yeah, it's the same way with these dies. And the piece that goes inside will have one shape. The piece that goes outside will have the other shape. And what happens is you stick a flat piece of metal on the very tippity top of the female, and then the male will get pressed up against the very center of that piece of metal, and it will shove it inside the female die with a whole bunch of force. And that piece of metal will then take the shape of both the male and female die at the same time. And if you notice, there's also these little spot weld dimples I was talking about earlier. They have it on this side too. Doesn't look like it's on this side either. Yeah, there they are right there. There's spot weld dimples there. And there. Now, the spot welds are actually fairly easy to do. But you would also have to do the male and female dies with the top and bottom piece on this. Now, from what I can see, it looks like the top and bottom piece are actually the exact same piece. Used and made by the exact same machine and everything. Which is another technique that manufacturers will also like to do. They'll like to make it to where they only have, instead of having to make like multiple pieces, they'll make it to where they can use the same piece twice in something. Like pocket knives, they usually like to use the same metal cutting device, or cut out two metal plates, and then they'll put them in the handles on either side. And one will usually be cut to have a liner lock in it, which is something that they actually like to do a lot. That I have noticed. But yeah. Now, once you've gotten that done, you'd probably have to spot weld the piece to this end back here first. But you'd have to set it inside of what's called a jig, which is an object used to make an object be the exact same shape and size consistently every time you make one. So there's probably going to be a shape which is cut to the exact same shape of the inside of this buttstock here. Now, either they would do that, or they would make the end, the skinny end which goes on. They'd probably build that first, actually. Then they'd stick the two pieces in it. Then they'd stick a jig right down the middle of it, because it'd be really easy to get that pizza shape. Just cut a piece of wood to have that shape, stick it in there, hold it that shape, and then you can just take a spot welder and just zap right on both sides. Well, actually, now that I mention it, you could probably get a piece of copper and shove it in the middle of that instead. And that would actually help with the spot welding. You could clamp one into the spot welder directly onto the metal piece of copper. And you just have to come around the outside and just tap each one of these spots with a manual spot welder, and then that's pretty much it. Then you just have to put the butt plate on and then spot weld that into place, but it'd be kind of hard. Although you could probably make a smaller device, which would probably be at the corner. Make a nice corner right down there. Clip that on there, stick it down there, and just zap. Put one on top and zap. That'd probably work out real well. Because like the AK internals, all the pinning and everything, that's pretty basic. Like there are a lot of people that know how to do that. Now another thing, I don't know if you guys can see this right now, but that little hole right there, you can see like V's and X's right there. The first V closest to the buttstock is the trigger pin. The X is the hammer pin, and then this V closest to the magazine is the auto sear pin. That is what makes it automatic. Is that little auto sear pin and the piece inside that's attached to it. There's an actual automatic mechanism in there. When these are fired, the hammer and everything will move. It's pretty cool. Oh, I love these things so much. And as usual, I am going to give you guys a little extra at the end of the video as usual. That's weird. Normally with the AKUs, they have grooves on the top and the bottom like the normal AK, so this doesn't seem to have the ventilation cuts in the bottom handguard. Huh. Weird. I love the whole wooden look of the AK. It looks really, really nice, but if you have an AK and you got it like an automatic AK, and you're gonna run like a magazine through it, you're gonna be in trouble because these things, like once you heat up these wood grips, no, oh, they'll, if you shoot too long, they'll actually catch on fire. And like, there are a lot of people that don't know that, but like, I think it's like you shoot like 100 rounds through it without stopping, and those things will start to catch on fire. Especially if you have an AK that's made with some of the cheaper wood. Like most of the Chinese rifles, they have a pretty cheap wood. And even some of the Russian rifles, the wood still burns after a while. And the polymer ones too. If you don't believe me, there's a video you can watch called the AK Meltdown. Ultimate AK Meltdown or something like that, where they literally just sit there and they have a full auto AK and they just spray bullets, just keep changing out magazines and spraying and changing, spray and change, spray and change, and they just keep doing that until it, like, basically the barrel gets so hot that it droops and misaligns the parts inside. But literally, the dude was shooting and it got so hot he couldn't hold on to it anymore. He had to hold it by the magazine. Or just like hold it by the grip and the stock. Now, if anyone here ever buys a Sentry AK, if you ever buy an AK from Sentry, make sure that it's one of the imported Sentry AKs, not the built Sentry AKs, because if you get a AK that is built in, if you get one of the AKs that's actually built by Sentries, there's a small chance the bolt will not line up right in the trunnion. Yep, and still scope rail. Yeah, I'm gonna put this total like Modern Warfare 3 AK grip on here. Not completely Modern Warfare 3, but close enough. That front sight looks like it's from a Sturmgewehr. Sure, why not? I have 12 of them. Rubber grips, sure. I have plenty. Yeah, let's see. I want to pick a site. What was that one site that was freaking out that told me I wasn't able to put it? One of the things that I really don't get is that there's like every time someone does a school shooting or whatever, it's with an AR-15. I don't get it. I mean, on the bright side, it's not an AK. If it was an AK, it probably would have been a lot worse. A lot of people on the news always go on about the AR-15 rounds and well, the AR-15 round is nowhere near as dangerous as an AK round, but you know, just gonna leave it alone. A lot of people don't know this, but it's basically the AR-15 is literally the projectile. It's the same diameter as a .22 projectile. It's just that the casing has a lot more gunpowder behind it, so that projectile is moving a lot faster than the standard .22, but the actual projectiles are the same diameter. As a matter of fact, the 5.45 caliber AK has pretty much the same projectile diameter. Those are the AK-74 variants. Now the standard AK is this one right here that I actually have in front of me. It's the 7.62 AK is the most common AK-47 variant you can find or buy in the US. Now the reason so many people like to buy and sell the AKs and stuff, it's just because the AK round is literally one of the cheapest bullets you can get. I mean, if you're gonna get a rifle and you're gonna want it, you want to play around with it, we're gonna want to get the cheapest bullets you can. AR-15, AK-47 have the cheapest bullets in the world because everyone in the world uses those rifles. Those are like the two top rifles. Like an AR variant or an AK variant are the two main rifles that are responsible for more casualties during war than any other rifle variants in the world. Now, Russia in particular didn't really ever have to use them in conflicts necessarily. However, the very first country to use AKs was actually the Vietnamese, and they were going up against the M16, which was also pretty much the very first conflict that the M16 got into. So they pretty much, both the rifles kind of started at the exact same time now. The AK had been around since 1947, but it had not actually been in any particular big conflicts until that point. And that was about the same time that the M16 had just been made. The M16 was actually made 20 years after the AK, but when they made it, they tried to keep it a secret for a while, and they didn't really give it to that many people. However, they taught the Chinese how to make them, and the Chinese, North Koreans, and I think the Vietnamese as well actually started making AKs. And when the Vietnamese started using the AK, they're like, hey, blah blah, whatever about this M16 rifle, they can carry so many more bullets than ours because their bullets are thinner than ours. Now the AK bullet and the M16 bullet, if you look at them, the AK bullet, it's just bigger around, but they're pretty much the same length. The M16 bullet is literally like the size of a pencil. It's pretty much a pencil, because remember I said it uses a 22 projectile. It's literally like a pencil with the end turned down a little bit thinner. Ugh. I hate when I just start going on and on and on, because I know people hate when I just ramble on, but eh. Anywho, as I was saying, the Vietnamese complained about this, and in 1974 they released the AK-74, which is the version which has the thinner bullet, which is pretty much just a slightly shorter version of the AR bullet. It's just that the projectile is elongated. You can literally go on Google Images, type in 5.45 VS223 in Google Images, and they'll bring up pictures of both the bullets right next to each other. Now right here, if you look at the name of this rifle, it's a 7.62. That's gonna bother me because the point's in the wrong spot. Like, see, these don't have points anywhere on their names, anywhere. Now, it says .762. That is actually wrong. It's 7.62 is the correct way. I think they did that on purpose, just because it's kind of like a close but not quite kind of thing. Now, the Russian AK uses a bullet that's known as 7.62 by 39. Now, when I say by 39, it's really times 39 is how it's written out. Times or X, whatever you want to call it. 7.62 and then X 39. If that makes sense to you guys at all. Here, listen right here. This is the normal AK rifle. This is the 74 pattern. This uses a smaller bullet, and that's why this gun right here has the same damage as an AR. I don't know if you guys noticed that. The damage of this rifle right here is 42. Because if you see right there on the right side, it'll say damage on one side, then it'll say it on the other side under selected. 42. This one right here, 39. Pretty much the same. If I go to this one right here, damage 37. Pretty much all in the same category. Now right here I go to the 7.62 AK. It goes up to 84. Now the AK, the regular AK I have right now is actually got that shortened barrel that I showed you guys earlier, which is my AK is showing up more like whatever than the other AK, if that makes sense to you guys. My AK has more damage than this one, just because of the short barrel. Now this one right here, this one is one of the higher damages. I can modify this rifle right here and get close to the max damage of a rifle with that one. Now this rifle right here is another 223 rifle. This one has 37.8 damage. Pretty close to this one. Now this one is a carbine, which means that the barrel is shorter than these up here. I don't actually, I don't think I have one of these. I think I have like one, but I don't think I've used it in a while. But yeah, this is actually an H&K rifle. Don't know if you guys know that, but this thing is pretty awesome. One of the actual problems that came up with this particular rifle, though, is that while they were being tested, it turned out that these rifles had a particular problem with the barrel, like the barrel jackets around it. It's being surrounded by plastic, because that's what all this gray stuff on here is polymer. Had a problem with all this plastic because when you start shooting it, it'll heat up, and after a while, when the plastic heats up, it'll end up just kind of melting the barrel. And even if you only ever use it on semi-auto, the barrel will still kind of get hot, and when it gets hot, it melts the polymer around it. And it usually doesn't do it in large, like really bad. It'll just melt like a paper thin layer, but it's enough to cause the barrel to move up, down, left, or right, and it'll cause your bullet to be in a slightly different spot every time you shoot it. And after a while, the bullets will start to go like up and down, or start to run to the right or the left, and they won't be all in the same spot like with the normal barreled rifle. Because like with like an AK, FAL, an M16, whatever. Wow, there's one right here. Look at this little guy right here. This right here, AK